Welcome, friend. As I log this video update, we're just a couple of days away from Christmas, which means we're still in Advent. And at the time of this recording, my hope and my prayer is that in these last few days of Advent, that you look back and you sense the tension that you felt along the way in waiting, in anticipating, and in this purposefulness of stretching toward all that Christmas brings, but anticipating that reality becoming alive within your own life and within your own heart. And in doing so, that it would make you even so much more of a durable and steady container of the joy and the hope and the peace that is the truest meaning and reality of Christmas. And with that, friends, as I think back over this past year, especially as we've done so many things along the way of faith formation, I'm so thankful for how many of you have responded to the podcasts and to the courses that we've offered throughout the year, because it shows me that it's certainly not just a hunger and a desire for a growth of intellectual knowledge, but so many of you are interested and even yearning to enter deeper into the mystery of all that it means to be a follower of Christ and to be that living witness in the day-to-day that you live around your neighbors, around your friends and your coworkers and the like. And so with that, I'll just highlight a few things that the Lord enabled us to do this past year, which I'm so thankful for. The first that comes to mind, of course, is a 6-episode podcast that I was able to have. It was a conversation, a very robust conversation with Silas Farley, who's a dear friend and a member of All Saints. And Silas and I journeyed through the book of Psalms in 6 episodes along the contours of the theme of rest. And not just rest, but leisure. And leisure being something that is an active state of participation in the reality of all that it is to be a follower of Christ and to live, as the Psalms point us, the way of the righteous throughout this life. And Joseph Pieper, you might remember, we followed his book it's called Leisure, the Basis of Culture. And really it just provides us a pathway for true human flourishing, for what it means to flourish, and not in a mechanistic way that follows the contours of achievement, progress, and success, but what it means to value the sacredness of who we are, created in the image and the likeness of a creator, and what it looks like to live from that reality. And so if you haven't had a chance to listen to that episode or that 6-episode podcast, I would strongly encourage you to do that. In this past year, we also expanded the Daily Office podcast. On Tuesday mornings, we release a podcast episode that we pray morning prayer together. And on Thursday evenings, we pray evening prayer together. And of course, it's a recorded podcast. So it's just giving you the opportunity to pray along with a voice. And we've expanded that in the last few months. And if you haven't listened to it, I would strongly encourage you to, because you probably will hear very familiar voices. As we've encouraged parishioners to read scriptures during morning prayer and to read scriptures during evening prayer, you'll hear friends' voices, you'll hear families, you'll hear moms and their kids read the Psalms back and forth to each other. I would strongly urge you to add that on your Spotify or your Apple, however you listen to podcasts, and build that prayer life, that habit of liturgical prayer. I think the big thing that's happened over the last few months has been the launch of a missional community down in Waxahachie. And many of you know that I'm the one on staff who's leading that. And it's a much larger vision that you'll hear plenty about in the year ahead. But what I'm very, very thankful for is what looks like a core of 30 to 35, 40 people in the Waxahachie area who've gathered in our first few gatherings down in Waxahachie at a coffee shop in downtown to do an evening service of prayer and just to hang out together. The mission there is to really be a living witness, to grow into a people of prayer, not a people of promotion, to grow into a people that embodies presence and not attraction, and to be a people that are just a living witness in Waxahachie. That's the goal in a nutshell. There's not much other strategy other than that, but just to iterate the culture of All Saints that's in Dallas, iterate it in the Waxahachie area, and see what the Lord does. because the one thing that healthy things do, healthy things always grow. So we're focused on just growing something very healthy in Waxahachie, and that missional community, by the Lord's grace, will definitely grow into a church plant, but we're not rushing to that horizon. We're really focusing on creating a density of a core of people in that area, that core of people who are committed to a rule of life, living as an embodied living witness in Waxahachie. And that means praying together, that means serving together, that means practicing hospitality as mission together. It's so many things. And friends, I could probably talk to you for about 30 minutes on this video, and I simply don't have that time. And so I would covet your prayers. I would ask you to pray for Waxahachie, pray for the community that's happening there. Pray that the Lord would do all that he desires to do for the glory of his kingdom in Waxahachie. And pray for those who are leading it. Myself and Ross, who is our pastoral resident, we're kind of tag teaming this thing together, and we're just asking the Lord on a regular basis, what is it that you desire for us to do? And how do you desire for us to do it? I'm so thankful for a small group of missional advisors who have come around. You'll know them by name in the months ahead, but they're people who are fasting each week and praying for the Lord's will be done, his kingdom come here on earth is in Waxahachie, for the glory of his name. And so, friends, I could talk to you, as I said, for so much longer, but I'm just so thankful for the hunger that each of you have to be a follower of Jesus as authentically as he will allow you to be. And what that looks like is deepening in the formation, and what deepening formation looks like is deepening friendship with the Lord himself. And my prayer for each of you as you go into Christmas and as you go into the new year is that you would continue simply to do that. Not strive, not achieve, not reach for anything other than the hand of the Lord, to be his friend and to be that powerful witness of the kingdom come alive in the people around you who need to hear the encouraging message, the transformative message of the gospel. Friends, I look forward to being with you on Christmas for our services, and of course in our services, the very first few services of the new year, and to see all the Lord will do. Many blessings.